Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review and join the conversation on Instagram at Candy Washington. Let's go!
Hello everyone and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington, and we are going to have a fun kiki about the latest episode of the Belle Collective, Season 2, Episode 3. So let's get into it. Hey, Becca, what's up, sweetheart? Hey, how are you? That's right, you guys. As you come into the room, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your candy canes. Let me know where you're listening from, what's your favorite points of the discussion, and just how you doing. So, hey. So with that, let's get into it. Oh, and that's right, you guys, don't forget, we have merch as well. We have the Love Collection. Everything's linked below, and a bunch of books and podcasts and movies and everything else. So be sure to check that out. So happy Saturday. And without further ado, let's jump into the mess. Let's jump into it. Okay. So I really should have titled this episode Letitia's codependency and Marie's narcissism and Latrice's exit strategy. Okay? Because again, you guys know I don't really recap. I just go into each woman and bring out what I see. Letitia, sweetheart girl. There are so many red flags in your story. There are so many red flags in what is going on with your business, with your friendships, with your relationship. So let's just break Letitia down a bit. I'm going to have to retitle this, The Codependency of Letitia. First up, let's talk about her fake storyline with her husband and the side mistress who has a baby who may or may not be his. The reason why I say fake is because I think that Letitia and the ex-husband, he's not the ex, they're still married. I think behind the scenes, they're probably already back together. I think this whole, you need to win me back, I am the prize, I deserve better, is this your baby or not your baby? I think that's a front, and I think that's a lot of BS just for the show. Because you don't have a man who has been cheating on you. Hey, the real lovely C, what's up, sweetheart? Hi, how are you? What's up? Because you don't have a man who has been cheating on you for years, because she said it was an affair, which means it was ongoing. The child at this point is 8 years old or something like that. This isn't like a goober baby. So you know that your husband has been out here dipping it and doing it when he's on the road. And you've probably been dipping it and doing it when you're home by yourself. And you guys probably have an agreement or an arrangement, and now you're fronting for the cameras. You're not gonna tell me that now all of a sudden there's this huge issue with it. I just don't buy it. I think it's a lot of BS. I think it's a lot of fronting for the cameras. I think behind the scenes they're already probably back together, and Letitia's whole front acting now like she's a lady of worth and she knows her value. I don't believe it. And the reason why I don't believe it is because Letitia does not know her value in any other circumstance. How in the world are you going to throw a brunch and let your so-called bestie best friend completely wreck it and destroy it? And you make the whole brunch about you running after this woman who's clearly telling you she does not care about you or your friendship or your success. Now, Marie could have just sat there, said hi-bye to Latrice, and went on about her business at the brunch. But no, she had to show her butt, get up out there, do all this hooping and hollering over Latrice and all this other stuff. And Latrice is just wow, I didn't know my energy was that powerful. But the real person who ruined the brunch was Letitia herself. Because Letitia, this is the thing. If you are the head of the brunch, it is your brunch, and you have someone at the brunch, I don't care who this person is, acting out, you let that person leave, and then you go back and you handle your business at the brunch. The reason why the brunch burned down was because Letitia gave Marie the power to destroy her brunch. Now, Marie was dead wrong. Dead wrong. But we all know Marie is very narcissistic. She is always the victim. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on with Marie over there in the corner. But Letitia, again, was so codependent and so enmeshed with Marie that she allowed Marie to ruin the brunch. Like, if that were me and my friend was popping off at the brunch, I'd be like, okay, you know what? Maybe you should just go take a break. And then I would come back to the ladies, like, sorry for that little intermission, guys. What's up? Let's talk. You know, who needs help? What are our affirmations? What do we need to do? And I would have kept my event popping and moving. You wouldn't have caught me crying in the bathroom and arguing in the spare room while I'm looking crazy and my guests are like, what's going on, right? Hey, Misty. She says, hello, Candy and all the canes. Yes, what's up, sweetheart? How are you? Hello. That's right. So Letitia, to me, in all areas, is still showing a lot of codependency. Like, there's just no way I'm allowing anyone to ruin what I'm putting on. The other aspect, exactly, Misty, she forgot all about the other guests. It was just literally just like, let me just have a Marie intervention and that's it. The only person I care about is Marie. The only feelings I care about, it made no sense. It made no sense. It wasn't like you were having a brunch with just Marie and Latrice to get them together. You were having a full brunch. And you just forgot about your other guests, acted like it was bizarre to me. And I was like, Letitia, you're not. And also her other story doesn't add up. With like, I have 25 businesses and everything is booming, but I'm moving in with my mother. And I'm not shading that. I'm not shading that. Trust me, I'm not shading that. I think that's fine. If you have to move in with your parents or your parents have to move in with you, you do what you have to do. There is no shame. There is no disrespect. There is no shame. You need to do what you have to do. But when people are fronting like they're in a certain type of situation, but then they do other moves that just don't track or make sense, that's when I kind of squint and go, what's really good? Like, what is really going on? Hey, Baka, will you do another video later? I'm not familiar with the show, just hanging out. I don't know if I'm gonna do another one later, but we might do hot topics tomorrow. So do whatever you need to do, Baka. I love you for coming through and saying hi. I appreciate you, sweetheart. And so yeah, like there's just holes in her story. Also, codependent as hell. Who says this? Did you guys catch? In the confessional, Letitia said about Keisha, she goes, well, Keisha's already here to steal my idea. Like, the least she could do is, like, you know, forget about what happened at the brunch and just be supportive or whatever, right? What in the codependent, no self-esteem, no self-worth situation is that? Again, if I have an idea for something and I think someone is coming in to steal it, there is no way I'm going to go in partnership with them. If I think you're stealing my idea, why would I partner with you? There's a difference between we're coming together and we're going to co-develop this idea. We have this idea. They have all these things, whatever. But if you use the word steal, then you already know the deal. You already know the deal. If you use the word, this person wants to steal my idea, you already know the deal about them. It is crazy. Hey, Misty, this is the very first episode I have watched. I just did it to join the chat. Ah, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you. Yay. Misty, then talking to the producers. Wasn't that crazy and weird? When she was like hugging the producer, like, I'm super confused. All the way weird. Hot diggity mess all the way around. So that's kind of Letitia calling BS on her situation with her husband. I think behind the scenes they're together. I don't think all of a sudden she got bravado to leave him now. I just don't buy it. Marie, very narcissistic. And to me, she's very jealous of Latrice. Do I think Latrice was genuinely going after her with the whole Medicaid fraud? No, I think Latrice probably heard it in the street. Because to me, Latrice at her core, she's like a city girl. Like, she's like if I'm using the word, if I'm using the term correctly, right? She's like a real hood. She's like a city girl. Like, I don't see Latrice snitching on anybody. So I don't see that. I think Latrice will get you back the way she'll get you back, but I don't see Latrice like calling the feds or calling police or like calling the like Medicaid people. Like, I don't see Latrice doing that. if that makes sense. I think that Marie is deeply, deeply, two things. One, jealous of Latrice, and maybe low-key attracted to Latrice. Maybe she is attracted to her and she doesn't know how to deal with her feelings. That could be it too. Hey, Misty, why did the other ladies just walk out? But it was the lie that was told, and who told it? Yep. 100%. I don't know why the other ladies didn't walk out. And then Akeisha walked out. But okay, let's talk about this. So now Letitia is saying that she's going into business with someone that she thinks is going to steal her idea. Letitia's Akeisha, they're so similar names. Akeisha has already shown fraudulent moves, very fraudulent energy and behavior. Like, remember, she is a one-upper. Like, you say something to her, she's one-upped you 10 times. She's done everything for her and her family have done everything the best, the most, first and last, all over the place. Like, she is a one-upper to the nth teeth. And then she walked in hating on the brunch. Oh, who are these people? I thought I was supposed to be, networking with the Jackson elite. Oh, my plate is dirty. Oh, this food is horrible. Blah, 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 blah. Right, that's right. Okay, so the lady who walked out and still wants to do business is Akeisha. That's Akeisha. Now, Akeisha, to me, fraudulent. First of all, Letitia, if you have it in your mind that this woman wants to steal your idea, shame on you for going into business with her. So you're gonna get what you get, and you're gonna deserve it. Because if you have it in your mind that this person is stealing your idea, you're gonna get what you're gonna get. Now, Akeisha, she's a one-upper. One-upper. Oh, well, my family started that foundation first. Oh, well, my husband bought that first. Well, we did this and we did that. Well, we donated all this stuff, and this is our legacy, and we have this building and that building and this and that. Hey, Sharon. She says, hey, Candy. Hey, real lovely. See, the guest just walked out. Yeah, it was a mess. It was a hot mess. But Akeisha also showed her slip that she's fraudulent to me. Because people who truly have connections and wealth and all of this stuff, they show you, they don't tell you. And Akeisha was just, I don't know if she's nervous. I don't know if she's trying to do the most to think she needs to fit in, but she just does the most all the time. And for her to talk about the dirty plate and the food, this, that, and the third, was just being a hater. It was literally just being a hater 1,000%. And the energy was wrong. The energy was whack. And another reason why I know Akeisha to me is giving fraudulent energy is because when Akeisha and Letitia then went to the side to have their conversation about everything, about the brunch, the only thing Akeisha had a problem with still was a dirty plate and, oh, are these just your friends at the brunch? And, oh, the food was cold or whatever she said. Ma'am, Akeisha, if you were actually this boss, babe, entrepreneur, has all of this stuff, your family's all of this, you're this amazing businesswoman, the last thing on your mind, because this is how actually connected and wealthy people think, the last thing on your mind would actually be the fact that your plate is dirty, or you didn't like the way that they served the wonton soup or whatever the heck they were eating, right? You would actually be like, okay, well, you know what? The fight that you had with your friend Marie doesn't sit well with me, because what if we had investors in the room? What if we had executives in the room? What if we had X, Y, and Z in the room? People who are truly connected and wealthy and actually on their grind, they're worried. They're thinking about the relationships you're building. They're thinking about their reputation. They're thinking about this, that, and the third. The food and the plates and who's friends with who doesn't even occur to them, because they're actually about their business. So when I saw Akeisha and Letitia have their conversation, that's when I was like, see, the math ain't math with Akeisha. Something is fraudulent. Something is wrong. That's another reason why I think she always ones up, because she's trying to probably deflect from something not being right. Like, I don't think she is everything she says she is. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. Yeah, she was upset about the vibe of the brunch. Yes, I agree. She should be upset with the vibe of the brunch, but maybe it was editing. But it seemed like what her problems were the food, dirty plates, and that the guests were, quote unquote, just like Letitia's friends. And she was looking to network with, the elite of of Jackson. And the reason why, again, I think that, right, I'm going to get into it. Sarah says she expected more influential people at the brunch. Right. I'm going to get into that. This is the second reason why I think Akeisha's fraudulent. One, she's like, oh, I thought that there'd be, just like you said, more influential people at the brunch. I'd be hobnobbing with the Jackson elite, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, Akeisha, since you claim that your family is a Jackson, like, legacy family, like that you have all of this clout, you know, that your family is so connected, your family was like founding members and all of this, that, and the third. This one or this one? Miss T, she was very, we talk about the food, be more professional. Exactly. Yes. And it also shows you that she's not where she actually says she is, because she's like, oh, I wanted more influential people, but you claim that you have this legacy. You claim that you're this, you know, like you are Jackson, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you're from Jackson and all this stuff, then you should already know the influential people. You should already know those should be the people in your Rolodex. Those should be the people in your network. You know, if you're claiming to be Jackson legacy, if you're claiming to be, you know, this, that, and the third, you know, your father and your father's father and your father's father's father, or all of this stuff, then you should actually be a part of that Jackson elite. But if you're coming to a place expecting to meet and hobnob with the Jackson elite, that means you're not one of the Jackson elite, if that makes sense. Also, secondly, people who are truly connected and have a wealth mindset and truly are wealthy, they don't dismiss or belittle people that they think are not influential. That's a very new money move, and that's a very fronting scammer move, because it's the mindset of how they think rich people actually are, but they're not. It's like that saying, like, you treat the janitor the way you treat the CEO. Because truly connected people, truly wealthy people do not act like they are above anybody else. Now, of course, you have your snobby people. Of course, you have, you know, that type of stuff. But usually that's not really, really the case. Sure, you have your jerks and your a-holes and your douchebags and blah, 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 blah. But for the way that Akeisha is presenting herself, you never look down on people because you actually never really know who people are. You never know who people really are. You may think, oh, this person from X, Y, and Z. That person from X, Y, and Z might be a multimillionaire. That might be the daughter of a multimillionaire. That might be the wife of a multimillionaire. You don't really know who people are. So to me, Akeisha, just her whole essence to me is fronting. It's fronting. Like, you're not actually a part of this Jackson elite the way in which you say you are, you know, and talking about the food, this, that, and the third, and like nitpicking that to me, that made no sense. Also, if you're trying to go into business with Letitia, I get it that you walked out, and I get it was really a mess, but you could have been like, you could have went to Letitia and said, hey girl, let me pull you aside for a couple minutes. How about we have your friend leave and let's go back and do the brunch? Because if you're going to go in business with someone when they are acting crazy, sometimes you need to reel them in. But that's if you're actually trying to go in real business with them. Hey, Miss T, go up one more. I was talking about the second time they met and have a lunch one-on-one. Oh, one more. Okay. Wait, was it this one? That was a messy lunch. They went back and forth and then gossip. Not much business was done. And then very rude to talk about the food, be more professional. That one, Miss T? Is that the one? Let me know if I got it. Hey, Misty. She said she would have to go to meet the mayor, not dressed like that. Ah, see? Fronting. Like, Akeisha, we are on to you, sweetheart. We're on to you. You're fronting. Yes, about the whole lunch. Yes, I agree. It was whack all the way around. Like, one, I'm not knocking the people who were in attendance by being like, oh, they're not influential enough, because I trust me, in certain circles, in certain events, in certain things, you never know, A, who someone is and be who someone will become. That's why people who are truly rooted in a wealth mindset, an abundant mindset, and gratitude and appreciation, who know how to network, who are professional, they don't belittle other people. Now, sometimes people who may not have their means or statures based on their own insecurities may feel belittled or like that, but that's a totally different story. I'm not talking about that because you never know who people are and you never know who people will become. So that shows to me Aikisha really showing her slip, that she's not this like socialite, comes from like, maybe her family has some stuff, but she's not in it. She's not with it at all. Exactly. Miss T says, and then she's had time to be with her other friend in the middle of the day, and she was going back home to deal with her kids. What does she do? I don't know what she does. I don't have a good answer for that. I don't know 100% what she does, because it was very vague. It was like, oh, we build stuff and we have this and we do that, and my father did this and my great grandfather did that, and we were the first people to have this charity. Oh, we donated $100,000, all this stuff. Oh, I am Jackson legacy. So Aikisha, I feel like the longer the show goes on, I think the more is going to come out about Aikisha, because I just don't think she is who she's fronting to be. One-upping people, talking bad about the food, not being professional, looking down on other people as not being where she is, or higher, and all this stuff. Like, that's just a really bad look. It's just a really bad look. You know what I mean? You don't put people down, and it's like fakerish do that. Someone who is fronting because they think that's how wealthy people and connected people act, but it's not how they actually act. Let's talk about Latrice. Okay. I said this once, I'll say it again. I think Latrice has an exit strategy. I think she has an expiration date. I think she has a timeline. I don't think she sees herself married to Daddy or Zaddy forever. I think she sees herself married to him until she gets either some goal in mind that she has or something. But I think Latrice is very smart and very strategic. And I think she has her own end date in mind. And I think she has her own exactly what she wants to get out of this marriage. Maybe it's after 10 years. Maybe the prenup changes to something else. I don't know what it is, but I think she has an end date in mind. I think she has, and I think that's why she has no plans on having a child with him, because some people say, oh, have the child, secure the bag, blah, 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 all that BS stuff. But if you do that on a certain level, you will always be tied to that person. I think Latrice has a plan in mind. I think once she gets what she wants and what her goal is, she's going to divorce him and she's going to be out, and she's not going to want to be tied to this man. And I think that's what's going on. I think she's banking on her next relationship and her next husband. That's the person she's going to have the kids with. You know what I mean? That's what you guys are saying. Miss T, no, not that young girl. She's just using him. She married him and he already had money. What does she do? Now, Latrice, this is where I go, where I think Latrice had a plan. Now, Latrice has it seems to be a pretty profitable like hair company. Like, she started selling hair and vending machines in malls, and that kind of blew up. And then now she has a salon and she sells hair online and all of this stuff. So she does have like a salon and her online hair business, and then selling the hair in vending machines and all of that. But I think it's a situation where his money funded her business, and then now her business is booming, if that makes sense. So I think Latrice knew exactly what she wanted to get from Daddy. I mean, this is the thing. You're a grown woman and you're calling your husband Daddy in public. I mean, call him what you want behind closed doors. But in public, it's gross and it's weird, and it just shows you a very toxic dynamic. And even her mom was like, yeah, you married your dad, who left, was unstable, was a cat daddy out there dipping it and doing it. So what it seems like is Latrice's husband, Cliff, aka Daddy, probably is out there cheating and is very, very controlling. And I think that Latrice wants to get from him what she can get from him, and then she's going to be out. And honestly, this might be an unpopular opinion. I'm here for it. I'm like, Latrice, do you. Have your plan, have your strategy, get what you need to get, and do what you got to do. I'm not mad at Latrice. I'm not mad at Latrice. And I think the reason why is because of the type of husband he is. He seems to be very controlling. He wants to have her to have this baby so we can lock her down and control everything. You know, I think he makes her feel like you have your life because of me, this, that, and the third. So that's why if it was actually a guy who I felt like was a healthy guy and it was like a genuine love, I'd feel really bad. It would be different. Let's see what you guys are saying. Hey, Sharon, Zaddy has what she needs to build her business. Exactly. Zaddy is the investor, 100%. Hey, Sharon, her business is really successful. Exactly. She has a very successful business, but like we've all said, it was through Zaddy, seed money. And this is the thing. I'm not saying that she would not have been successful, because she probably could have gone out and got a different investor and been successful. However, it's like I said about the ladies of Dubai and other franchises as well. It is very different to have your family or your husband be the investor in your business than it is to have no money, no family money, and no money from your partner, and you are really out there in the trenches actually pitching and bootstrapping your business. I'm not saying that the person who gets successful with family money or with money from their partner doesn't deserve it. You do. They deserve it. Listen, use every resource you have. If your partner has the money and they are willing to invest it, use that money. If your family has money, use that money. I'm not saying don't. But the truth is, when you have those type of resources, it's a very different experience when you don't have family money and when you don't have a partner that's a millionaire and is willing to, give you everything you need. It's very, very different. Both people are worthy and deserving of success, but the journey is different. The journey, you know what I mean? The journey is very different. Hey, the real lovely C. She goes, I like Latrice calling him daddy in the same way Dr. Heavenly called her husband. Now, over here, our candy canes have to agree to disagree on that one. See, I think the way Dr. Heavenly calls her husband daddy, it's, to me, they're both weird, but they're in two different ways. Like Latrice, it's like a control thing. With him, I think it's him exerting his control over her. Like, it's a reminder of you have what you have because of me. And it's a reminder of I'm the one in charge. I'm the parent, you're the child. You do what I say. But when it comes to Dr. Heavenly and her husband, I think that's just a way to pacify the situation, because I don't think that's a good marriage. Hey, Miss D, he definitely wants the baby to slow her down. 100%. He wants her to have the baby to slow her down, and also to control. It's a way to control her and to manipulate her and to guilt her into slowing down, into giving up control, and to not really being herself. Because this is the thing when it comes to dating controlling men or women who have the money. He's happy to invest when the dynamic is, I need your money in order to be successful, because that keeps her dependent on you. So they're happy to invest when you're just starting out. They're happy to invest if they think you're not going to actually turn a profit. They're happy to invest if they think you're not going to be successful, because it still keeps them dependent on you. But then, like Latrice, her business is booming. She's making money. She's on a TV show. She's doing the damn thing. Now she's getting more freedom. She's getting more independence. She's getting less dependent on his coin, because now that her business is doing well, she can stow away that money. Now she has the TV money. She has everything else going on. Now that her business is actually successful, it makes her less dependent on him. So now that's why he's like, well, let's have a baby to slow her down, make her less of the business. He has more control and he has more ways to manipulate people. I hope she was smart enough to have a really good contract, because like that's another thing. When you have people invest, whether it's your family, your husband, your wife, your cousin, Bobo down the street, make sure you understand the contract and the terms. Because if someone could invest in your business and say you have a falling out, how much percentage of your business do they control? Are they named? Are they a partner? Are they a co-partner? Are they just an investor? Are they a co-owner in it? Are they a silent partner? Got to make sure, because when she does do her exit strategy, I would hate for, even though it's pretty clear he gave the seed money. I'll say allegedly, but I think she already said it and it's already clear. I would hate for him to try and then take the business. It's like what happened with Kristen Cavallari and Jay Cutler. I don't know if you guys follow those guys. They're on like Bravo and E and stuff. He was like a big NFL player, had all this money, and then she was like a reality star. They got married. She started a jewelry company called Uncommon James. And he helped her, he invested in it. He would help her with like, she was like doing it out of the house. Mind you, it was like a big mansion. I'm not talking about they were in like a 1-bedroom apartment, scrapping it. No, they were in a huge mansion because he's a multimillionaire. But she was doing it by the bootstraps. She got another reality TV show. The business boomed. They've now divorced. He was trying to take half of her business. So that's what I mean by you got to know what your prenup says, and you got to know what it means to be an investor. Because all of a sudden now he's like, well, we're getting divorced. I want half your business. Now, you know what I mean? Let's see what you guys are saying. Hey, Tanisha. She goes, hey, Candy, happy Saturday to you, love. You too, sweetheart. Hey, Sharon, did you see the 300 acres? Zaddy got some paper. Yes. And then when I saw that, I knew he was wealthy, but I was like, whoa, he's stinking rich. Yeah, he has some paper. He definitely has some paper. That's why I think she has an expiration date. I bet you in the prenup it's probably like married for 10 years. You see what I'm saying? And so I bet you she gets a bigger payout the longer she stays. I think she has an end date in mind. And she's like, I'm not having a baby because a baby would keep her beholden to him. I think she wants to get what she's going to get and bounce. Because you notice when the mom said, are you happy? She didn't say yes. Hey, Miss T, I hope she protected her business legally. It looks like he is majority shareholder. Exactly. Dr. Heavenly and her husband are closer in age, so I don't see it the same way either. Yeah, I don't see it the same way. Yeah, I agree. Oh, I love you too, Tanisha. Hey, Miss T, where did Zaddy get all his money? Girl, if I knew. If I knew. I don't know exactly where he got all his money from. I don't. I mean, allegedly, just from the vibe. And I don't want anybody coming after me, but do we think it's all on the up and up? I think it's a situation where maybe in his younger years, he probably did some shady, questionable stuff and got a lot of money. And then maybe now that he's older, he's probably used that money to go legit, if that makes sense. Because I don't know where he got all his money from either. And I don't mean to stereotype or anything like that, but it's just a feeling I have where I feel like he probably was doing some stuff, got a bunch of money, and then decided to get out of the game and go legit with different businesses. You know what I mean? Exactly. Yes. Like the money is clean now. You know what I mean? But like how you got it's like the same thing, like how you got your seed money, how you got your upfront money, how you got the big bulk of the money. But now you've cleaned it up because now it's clean because now you don't want to be in that life anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the kind of vibe Zaddy Daddy gives. That's kind of vibes. Anyway, what else is going on? Tambra, was she even in this episode? I think she talked to Aikisha, but Tambra was just there to like mediate. Tambra's story with the whole, oh, that's right. They talked about Aikisha's journey to motherhood, how she had a lot of miscarriages. So shout out to her for being able to, carry her babies and all of that. So not going to knock that journey. But Tambra, I'm calling into question her storyline. Do you know what I mean? Yes, Miss T. Good reason to invest in a hair business. Exactly. Exactly, 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 exactly. Yes. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I mean, I think he's probably the money's clean now, but it wasn't before. Exactly. But with Tambra, I don't know about her whole. What's her the guy she's been dating? She was on and off with him since they were like in high school. Allegedly, they have another name for him, another code name, and this other girl is saying she's with him, and she's all mad in her feelings. This is the thing. The other girl, I think her name was like Letitia or something like that too. The other girl claiming that she is dating, his name's like Idmom or Dumond or something like that. Meanmon, something like that. Tamara's boyfriend. Sis, no. No. If he is in public claiming this other woman, literally on camera claiming this other woman, your friends only know him as a code name. They've never met him. They don't know his real name. That's not your man. You're his booty call. I know you're in your feelings, and I'm not trying to be mean, but we as women, men, we have to realize and call a thing a thing. There are people who are, thank you, Patricia. Yes, Daman, aka Greedy. Greedy, he sounds like he is greedy. Yes, 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 yes. Miss T, yes, and she is friends with the lady who threw the brunch. Exactly, exactly. 100%. Okay. So thank you, Candy Canes, for coming through with that. So this is the thing, Tisha, the other side chick lady. If you only talk to your friends about a guy that you're sleeping with under his code name, Greedy, they've never met him, they don't know his real name, and he's out here publicly claiming somebody else, you are just a booty call. And guess what? That is okay. What's not okay is when you clearly want something else from someone and they're not giving it to you, and then when you see them give it to somebody else, get mad. Because this is the thing, why are you mad at Tambra? And that was another thing, why was she mad at the girl? Be mad with your alleged man. She didn't seem to have any smoke for Greedy, but she wanted all the smoke for Tambra. Why are you mad at Tambra? She's not your friend. You guys don't even know each other. And your friends don't even know the dude. The only reason why you said his real name was because you were in your feelings. Exactly, Miss T, side chick lady, 100%, 100%. And trust me, I'm not absolving him, but I think in certain situations, let's get into it. Let's deep dive it. I think in certain situations, we have to take accountability. If you're dating a guy, let me keep it funky. If you're sleeping with a guy and you want to be in a relationship with him and he tells you he's not ready, he's seeing other people, he doesn't want it, and then you continue to sleep with him because you think sleeping with him will bag him, it's on you. But if you are sleeping with a guy and you tell him you want more and he tells you, oh, I want you too, it's just us, we're together, oh, this is my situation, circumstances, but yes, it's you and me, we're monogamous, it's us, da 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 da, and then he goes out and cheats on you, and then he goes out and has all this stuff, then shame on him. But from what it sounds like is that you were just giving it up and you knew what the deal was, and then now you're in your feelings because he's out here with this other chick. That's more of what it sounds like. Miss T, that's what she said. We're not friends. Exactly. So why are you mad at her? Why do you have the smoke? That's the thing. Why do you have the smoke for the girl? The girl doesn't owe you anything. Two different situations, absolutely. Exactly. Two situations, absolutely. And let me tell you, I've been in both situations. So I am not coming from a place of judgment or anything like that. You know, if we're honest, everybody's played the fool. You know, I remember back in college, I liked this guy and blah, blah, blah. And we all have those moments. We all have those situations where, you know, you're really into someone and you just think if I just, you know, do what he wants me to do, and if I hold on long enough, it'll change and blah, blah, blah. And then hopefully, once you're out of that situation, you then have the wisdom to be like, girl, never again. Like, never again, you know? So it's not to shame anyone in those situations, and it's not to blame them, but it's about taking responsibility. Like, I can look back and say, I allowed myself to be treated that way. I allowed myself to live in the delusion that we were something when we weren't, when it was clear that we weren't, right? So we've all been there. So I'm not trying to be, mean or anything about it. I'm just saying, girl, call a thing a thing. Call a thing a thing. We've all been there. I guess. I don't know. Hey, Patricia, she's doing what Tamra doing. She's doing what Tamra not doing. I mean, that is true. And isn't that funny though? Because Tamra keeps saying she wants a baby and she wants it with him, but yet they're not having, at least they're not having unprotected sex, allegedly. But it doesn't seem like they're even really having sex. Right? Doesn't it seem like Tamra, or did she say, am I making this up? But Tamara to me seemed like she said something about like how she hasn't had sex, and they're not having sex, and if they do have sex, it's protected. So I'm really confused. Like, as was the OBGYN in the other episode, I'm like, if this is your guy and you want to have a baby, why are you having protected sex? Like, doesn't make any sense, right? Like, why are you having protected sex if this is what you're doing? Patricia, right? No sex, right? Like, isn't that weird? Like, maybe this is a scheme. Maybe he's just a sperm donor. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just like, let me harvest my eggs, and then he's gonna, do what he needs to do in a cup, and this is how we're gonna get this baby. This is how we're gonna get this child. Who knows? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's that type of situation, and they're fronting like they're together, but I don't know. It all seems very, very fishy. But regardless of that, if I was a side chick, I'd still feel some type of way. But I would feel it about myself. And I would be like, I've been here doing all of this stuff for him, giving up everything for him. And then he goes out here, and whether it's a real relationship or not, that's what he's publicly fronting as. So this side chick, get some wisdom, girl. You play the fool. It happens to the best of us. Let him go. Don't come after Tamra. Tamra's doing her thing. She's getting her storyline. She's getting her check, okay? And she might be getting her baby too. So don't hate from Tamra. Maybe take a note from Tamra. Get what you can and call it a day. Hey, sure enough, does even show the relationship just wants a baby by somebody she knows. Exactly. Hey, Miss T, I don't think she wants to carry the baby herself. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. All making sense. All coming together. So yeah, you guys. Oh, I guess we'll round out with Soguchi. I almost forgot. To me, Soguchi is like extremes. Like, on one extreme, she has these weird things that she says in the confessional that are just really out there. And I'm like, you're doing the most, calm down, chill. And then the other extreme, I'm like, she's just kind of boring and flat. Like, I forgot she was even on the show. I mean, it was it was a cute scene, with them double dating and doing the cars or whatever, and then they got the hot chocolate. Like, that was cute. They kept it cute, but I kind of thought she was boring. I agreed what she said about the baby, like, make sure it's something you want, but I don't know. To me, Soguchi's falling flat. I don't really see. I don't know. I kind of forgot she was even on the show. Hey, Miss T, situationships are real and they make you look foolish. They do. They do. I need to do a self-care session. We could talk all about situationships. They make you look very foolish. Hey, Miss T, is that her husband? Yes, that's her husband. Her husband was also a character, but I thought he was more entertaining than she was. But that's just because he was like a caricature of like a honky-tonk person, I guess, if that's the word. Don't cancel me. I don't mean that in a mean way. I just don't know how to describe it, right? Because he's like, I'm a country boy. I don't know what his name is. What was his name? JJ. JJ. His name is JJ. So Gucci and JJ, right? Yeah, JJ was the most. He was a complete character doing all of these shenanigans. Hey, Veronica, what's up? She goes, hey, Candy Mods and Candy Canes. Hey, sweetheart, how are you? Thank you for coming through. That's right, you guys. If you've had fun and you're having a good kiki, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share with a friend because a kiki is always better with candy in our community. Woo, woo. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, with So Gucci, two extremes. One doing the most, or the other one absolutely boring. I think the boring is her real personality. And I don't mean that shady. I think the over the top, the one liners, the doing the most is again like a caricature. Whereas I think her, when she's just like, well, I think you should really, think about what you want before you have a baby. I think that's really more of her personality. And to be honest, I would rather see, this might sound counterintuitive, but I would rather see more of her boring personality than of this weird wilding out character, because I think the boring personality could actually be endearing if it's authentic coming through and I can connect to her on the human level. But that caricature when she's going off and doing the most, my plant, and doing the most, it's too much. It's too much. It's distracting, like my plant is, right? It's too much. Hey, Miss T. He reminds me of his father, of this father that used to be on the reality show Dancing Dolls. I think they're in Mississippi. Girl, they're probably Mississippi, Alabama. I don't know. Down in the woods. Down in the woods. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot to handle, Mr. JJ. Mr. JJ. But there you have it. I think I got to all the girls. We talked about Marie. Again, I'm trying to be sensitive with this, but I gotta call it like I see it. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not gonna diagnose, but from my opinion, Marie has a lot of narcissistic tendencies. Just a lot. And I will say it again, I find her reaction to the death of her son's baby mother odd. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, because again, it's not my job to tell people how to grieve. It's not my job to tell people how to react to trauma in difficult situations. But I have yet to hear her say, I feel so horrible that this young woman lost her life. The only thing Marie has talked about is, well, one day I'm going to have to tell this child, why his mother isn't here. They're going to ask for the child. And now I'm going to have to step up because her son, I forgot what her son's name is. Well, he's at school. So now I have to step up and he's going to have to do it all by himself. I have yet to hear her out of her mouth express any type of sadness, condolences, sorrow, grief over the fact that this woman actually lost her life. She's only talking about, well, now we have to do everything with the baby, I have to step for the baby, and blah, 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 blah. Miss T, I know. Oh my God, I thought so, because nobody was wearing hair like that anymore, girl. I know. It was giving me like Nene 2010 vibes. Right? But with Marie, and I don't know, and maybe it's not being shown, maybe she is and it's being edited out, but I don't think so. And I said that before with the other episodes where she had the actual child in her lap and she was talking to her best friend, Essie, that, oh, I don't know how I'm going to tell the kid, this boy, I don't know how I'm going to tell him that his mom's gone and never coming back. I'm like, well, the baby's in your lap and you're saying this, like, the baby's still there, I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. And the reason why, I'm just going to say it. The reason why it rubs me the wrong way is because in my gut, I feel as though Marie did not like the girl who passed away. I feel like she did not like her. This is just a gut feeling I'm getting. And I feel like Marie honestly cares more about the fact that now her son has to raise the kid by himself and her grandchild now has to talk about that, that the mom is gone, more so than grieving the loss of the girl herself. And I could be wrong, and I don't mean to overstep, and I want to be very respectful, but on a gut feeling, that's what's coming through. And again, I could be totally wrong. This is just what I'm feeling. So I'm not saying this is a fact. I'm not saying this is true. I'm just saying this is just what I'm feeling based on what she's giving on the screen. And that just on a gut level kind of rubs me the wrong way. Like, I'll go back and rewatch, but I don't think she ever once said it was such a loss to lose this young woman. You know, she was such a light. She was such a good person. It's so sad her life was cut short so tragically. We're going to miss her so much. Never. Not a single iota of consciousness that this 18-year-old girl was literally snuffed out like that. That's why Marie to me, there's something there. Hey Sharon, Marie not liking her much. She has too much masculine energy for me, taking care of all these grown people. Why? Exactly. It's too much. It's too much. Like there's a tick, like something is off, something is wrong. You know what I mean? Not caring about, and it seems to be she likes to take care of men. You know, she's taking care of her son. She's taking care of her husband or a strange husband, whoever he is, you know, all of these grown people, right? But yet when it comes to supporting her friend Letitia, well, she's get thrown under the bus and she's going to ruin your brunch. And when it comes to this young woman who unfortunately lost her life at the age of 18, she hasn't said one thing about that. Literally the only thing she has said about the death of that girl is now how her son is going to have to she's going to have to step up to raise the child basically for her son is what she's saying. And how it's going to be hard when the grandchild gets older, when the grandchild starts asking for the mother. But she hasn't once said, "I can't believe this happened to this girl. I'm so sad this girl is gone." You know what I mean? That to me is the it's the ick factor. It's the buy that man a Rolex, right? That's what I'm saying. Hey, Miss D, she needs to worry about her health. She's been taking care of all these people. Exactly. And she has lupus. Hey, Sharon, thinking about buying that cheating husband a Rolex to make him a better father. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy to me. Hey, Miss T, she's raising all her son's children, and it's a lot. He has a lot of kids. Yes, she's raising all the son's children. She's also, you know, trying to, you know, bargain with her husband, you know, let me get you a Rolex so you could actually like be involved in your children's life. Like, where they do that at? Like, what is going on with that? What's up? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's weird. It's very, very weird. Taking care of a lot of grown men's responsibilities, taking care of her grown son's children, taking care of her grown husband. I don't know if he has a job. Where is he working at? And again, allegedly, her reaction to the Medicaid fraud rumors, because again, sure, you're successful, but where are you getting all of this money from? Where are you getting all of this money from? You're opening new practices, you're opening new businesses, but like, it's a lot. I mean, think about it. How much it costs to raise one child, let alone to continuously raise your own children and then their children's children, and then saying you're going to buy your husband a Rolex. Where is all the money coming from? And her visceral reaction to Latrice and the Medicaid stuff. And we know about these celebrities, these reality stars. They will be frauding God and the devil and to go on national TV like what? I'm not saying she is, because I don't want her to come after me. I'm not saying you are, sweetheart. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying the reaction to it is questionable. And I'm just saying, historically, there have been a lot of reality stars who are frauding the whole world, and they get on these shows, and then they're surprised when they're exposed. So you better have every dime accounted for, every dime. because the feds are watching, IRS are watching, everyone's watching. Everyone's watching. So get on these reality shows if you want to. That's why. Do you guys watch The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? Remember Mary and how once she was on the show, like it had already been out there, but not like on a national, international scale that it gets on when you're on one of these types of shows. But it had already been out there about her alleged, scamming the church and frauding people and all of the businesses and random deaths and fraud and all of this stuff. And how did she get her money? Where does her money come from? And all of that stuff, right? So it had already kind of been out there. But once you're on a reality TV platform, it blows up. Now, Mary, to me, was she dumb to get on the show? Yes. Because do I think, again, this is, Mary, don't come after me. This is just this is my feelings, okay? I'm not saying it's fact. I think, were all of her businesses up to snuff? No. Do I think she was scamming and frauding? Yes. I don't think she got all that money legit. I'm sorry, I just don't. But Mary, to me, was smart because when the smoke came, she was out. She didn't go to the reunion. She didn't want to ask any questions. And she didn't go back to the show because she didn't want any questions. She's like, okay, you know what? I was narcissistic enough to get on this show knowing that there's a lot of skeletons in my closet, knowing there's a lot of fraud going on. But now that I see the smoke is coming, I'm smart enough to get out the way. And to me, that is the real reason why Mary Cosby left the show. Not because of anything that Jen said or the other girl said or whoever said. Mary could care less about any of those chicks. Mary basically was just like, I don't want to become a Jen Shaw, a Teresa Giudice, or whatever. She's like, I want to keep this fraudulent money and live in my La La Land fantasy. I don't want the smoke. You see what I'm saying? And that's why she bounced. That's why she didn't go to the reunion. She's like, I don't want to answer these questions of where did you get your money from? Like, you know what I mean? Let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, she is raising them. Hey, Donna D. She goes, I think the last episode, Marie is more sensitive to the Granberry's mother's death. Was she more, because again, I think she's very narcissistic. Was she more sensitive to the death or was she more sensitive to what the death of that girl actually means? Miss T, because I said I would during the marriage is a very weak reason. Very weak. A very weak reason. Yeah. Like, none of it's making sense. But I do love how Essie put in her place and was just like, well, what about the promises he made? I don't know about fidelity, being there, all that stuff. How many jobs does she have? Well, she says that she has a lot of like medical practices. Like she's saying she's opening up like a methadone clinic and a rehab clinic and all this stuff. Like she just says she has a lot of different clinics and things like that. But I don't know. I don't know. Don't come for me. I'm just talking. Hey, Donna D, how can she even think about buying a Rolex for a man who cheated on her because she was promised him one? What about the promise Mary to be true to her, to Marie to be true to her? Exactly. It makes no sense. Hey, Misty, Mary got off the show quick before she answered a whole bunch of questions. Exactly. That's why Mary bounced. That is why Mary bounced. Don't anybody get it twisted. Don't think any of those girls on that show ran Mary off. Mary ran laps around them all season long. Mary got off that show because she knew she was about to get the smoke. So, what happened in your congregation? What happened with this? What happened with your mother? What happened with your grandfather's death? It's your grandmother's death. What happened with blah, 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 blah? How do you have this house? How do you have multiple homes? How do you have all this designer jewelry? Where does all that money come from? Like, Mary didn't want the smoke. She didn't want it. Hey, Donna D, maybe all the water she was drinking was an indication that her lupus was about to flare up. Maybe. And like, Marie, I think you do have narcissistic tendencies, because also a part of narcissistic tendencies, it's not just like, oh, I'm so cool, it's ego, but it's also, it's martyr syndrome as well. She's a martyr. I have to take care of all the kids, and I'm just going to sacrifice my own life for them, and blah, 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 blah. And that keeps people guilted and indebted. Very, very deep. Misty, Jen Shaw should have jumped off the show just like Mary. I think so too. And I think they're going to give Jen Shaw a stiffer sentence because she was so defiant for so long. Hey, Donna D, Mary is one of those pulpit pimps. Exactly. Like that pastor who got, I don't want her to get robbed or anything, but like that pastor who got robbed on the live stream, I squint at that. One, I'm like, did you really get robbed, or is this an insurance scheme? Because let me know what robbers are like, let's get ourselves on camera during a live stream while we're actually committing a crime. That makes sense. Or are these people that you know and you're pulling a Julie Smollett and you're just trying to get 5 minutes? And insurance money, you know? Hey, Miss T, the housewives always did think they wouldn't get caught. It's literally a financial S word. Exactly. It really is. Hey, Miss T, the paycheck was not worth it by Bravo. No. But the thing is, with people with that type of personality disorder, it's always about the fame. It's always about the fame. It's always about being on a show, being interviewed, having your names in lights, having your social media blow up. It's always about the fame. And fame is also a drug. People get addicted to it and people want it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of famous people who are not rich. There are a lot of rich people who are not famous. The most dangerous person is the one who wants to be both at any and all costs. Hey, Miss T, she likes the sympathy she receives from doing so much for others. Exactly. That's also a way to manipulate and to control and to keep people attached. Because I bet you there's a part of Marie that likes the fact, just like Zaddy, right? That likes the fact that her son is dependent upon her. Because if she actually wanted her son to be his own man, she would stop subsidizing his life and all these kids. Because this is the thing. There are single parents out there with multiple children who do it by themselves. They do. They have multiple children and they're actually single parents and they do it. So if you actually wanted your child to step up to the plate and to grow up into their own adult, you'd cut the cord. You'd cut the cord. And if something horrible, happened, where God forbid, then you would swoop in to help. But to take over from jump, you like your son being dependent upon you. Hey, Miss T, Pastor Bling Bling, that had himself robbed online. Yeah, who does that? Miss T, it's trying to get insurance money. He messed up when he went on Larry Reid and got a whole bunch of attention. Yeah, 100%. To me, that was an insurance money grab. Because who does that? I'm going to rob you on a live stream in front of all of these people so I can have all. The only person who thinks like that is someone who's robbing themselves because they think, oh, I want a lot of witnesses. And, and it's even better to get it on tape live stream. Right? Yeah. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. All right, you guys, we've been out here for an hour having a fun kiki. So if you've been having fun, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. Don't forget to hit the notification bell because we will be back with more self-care videos, relaxing videos, and of course our pop culture videos on reality TV. So much. And Miss T says, and they only robbed the pastor and his wife, plus you all had that on. Really? Exactly. It's too convenient. It's too convenient. And also the same thing with Marie. His response was not in alignment with what you think a proper response would be. Like, you're a pastor. Only you and your wife got robbed. But at the same time, you're only focused on finding the robbers and bringing them to justice. You didn't once say, thank God no one got hurt. Thank you, God, for your protection, for protecting the congregation, blah, 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 blah. Like, again, I always really listen to what people say. And if your first gut is like, let's put up money to find the people and blah, 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 blah. And like, let's do that because I'm trying to show everyone that I really want these robbers caught. I'm trying to show everybody I really was a victim rather than saying, you know what? Those are just things. Let's just really focus on the fact that like no one got hurt. No, none of our members got hurt. Nobody in the congregation got hurt. Let's thank God for his protection. You see what I'm saying? Like, people always tell themselves. They always do. And that's why with Marie, she hasn't really shown any real grief around the loss of the girl's death. She's so concerned about the grandchild, and she's so concerned about having to raise him for her son, but she hasn't shown any real grief around the actual loss of the girl. And that's just how I feel in my gut. Is how I feel in my gut. Hey, Donna D shows, would it be messy or a friend if Letitia would get Tambra and the other Tisha together to discuss Gertie? I think it would be both, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I think it would be both, and it'd be great. It would be great. But it's only messy if all people involved don't have the heads up. Only if it's an ambush. Only if it's like Tambra's coming in and she has no idea what the girl's going to say or something like that. If it's an ambush, then it's messy. But if it's like, you know what? This guy is out here dipping it and doing it. Let's everybody get on the same accord. Then I could see it, right? That's fine. But as long as it's not an ambush, I think it's good. But I also have a feeling, this is the gut feeling, I don't think Tambra cares behind the scenes who he's doing it to. I think she just wants the sperm and she wants her baby. I don't think she cares who he's sleeping with. Do I think she may care on camera? Yes. I think she may care how it looks on camera, but I don't think she cares behind the scenes because they're not even having sex. Allegedly. Yay. Miss T says, it's Carlos King. It's going to be messy. It's going to be messy, 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 all day, all day, all day. It's going to be messy all day, all day, all day. We're here for the mess, the super mess. Woo. Okay, you guys, we did it. Happy Saturday. I love you guys. Thank you for coming and joining me for this fun Kiki. I've had so much fun. Either tomorrow or Monday we'll do hot topics, but you know, we're also covering Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Dubai, and everything else. Yes, Sarah, I should go see you. Good evening, everybody. That's right. Enjoy your weekends. I love you guys so much. But subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live, and you can come and join for our really fun Kiki. And check out everything in the description box. We have some free goodies. We have a ton of stuff going on down there. We have merch. So just check it out. Go down there. Check it out. Click a link. Bye. Go to candywashington.com. See what we got going on. All right, you guys. I love you. As always, take care of yourself and each other. Hey, Donna D. She goes, have a good evening. You too, sweetheart. Yes. Patricia says, this was nice. Yay! Thank you. It was nice. That's how we do it over here. I mean, me and my candy canes, we make it nice. We do it nice. It's nice and fun. And I love you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you next time. What is yay? Bye. And I will see you next time. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor, and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram @Candy Washington. Let's go.